Calm down, Poppy, calm down. As we're diving into our semifinals, it is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss between Solar and NightMare. Again, Solar, he is the last non-Protoss player left in the tournament. Can we avoid the PvP mirror matchup finals?
Well, whether we can or we can't, I'm excited either way because NightMare has been taking down top players all day today, and Solar has looked so good. If NightMare can take down Solar, then he must be in top tier form. And if Solar takes down NightMare, I mean, I think we can already say that Solar looks like he's playing very well. But it'll be very impressive for him to take out. Solar's in a chatty mood today. Maybe this is part of his strategy.
Oh, he is. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our South Korean Protoss player. Oh, TT Smoge, Papi. We have NightMare. What do you have for us? What are the translations?
I'm working at it. Look, I don't know what the bottom one says. Solar does say it's scary. All right, I'm having a closer look. It says, okay, I have no idea. There's too much. There's too many references going on. There's a player called Jung Wook. I don't know. I don't know if that is referring to a player. Maybe that's Stats' name. I don't know. Stats. Let's have a look. No, it's not. So I have no idea what they're talking about.
That's all good. Because
they are chatting like crazy. And in the top right, sorry for interrupting, it is of course from Team Vitality, it is Solar.
Here.
My gosh, they are so chatty.
Yeah, hold on. I got you, Papi. I got you. Google Translate. Let's see if I can keep up.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a look, but they're really working hard here, working overtime. Okay, it says, Solar says, on YouTube, I'm going to be taxidermied. Tough game.
See, I'm going to be stuffed on YouTube. And NightMare saying he's not recording.
Stuff.
People hate it. Solar saying, please upload as a replay. Has NightMare been, has he been uploading on YouTube? Is that what's going on right now? Like, they're talking, like, from my understanding, I think Solar was saying that, like, hey, if you beat me, you better not upload this. And then NightMare is threatening him to upload.
I hope NightMare uploads it. I would love to see what's going on. Maybe NightMare's a content creator.
Yeah, maybe. I have to look that up because I know there are players like Shin. I know like Shin has a YouTube channel and he's been uploading a lot, but maybe NightMare has as well. Not too sure.
NightMare going for a Stargate. So DVZ, nothing special so far. We're just getting another nice little game out of our players, and really tonight it's been a study in Protoss vs Zerg.
Yeah,
really just entering the minds of the best both races have to offer, seeing what they're cooking, what they're up to. So far, Solar's sat on the king of the hill.
He has sat on that hill, even on the king as well. I don't know if you noticed, but specifically, you know, whenever I get a caster, whether it's like Asher, Pateran, or yourself, or even a Protoss player, I try to cater the players that we cast to you. So I know how much you love ZvP. You're actually pretty good at it, from what I hear. So I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I could cater to your strengths as well.
Thank you for that, and I'm obviously a big fan of this matchup.
Yeah.
Actually, unironically, I really do like it. I really enjoy the dynamics. So a Void Ray coming out from NightMare is going to indicate the possibility of some kind of mischief out of him. It could also be a bit of a mind game, right? So you can get a Void Ray and just say, you're not going to see anything, okay? I'm denying your scouting. I'm going to be safe. And so it's up to you to kind of work out what's going on, Solar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Let's see.
I'm sure everyone in the chat is aware of what I'm about to say, but we've been casting a lot of NightMare as of late. NightMare, he thrives in the mid game. He does quite often open up Void Ray. So unlike some of the other Protoss players out there, NightMare, he's not the most standard of players. He can be very chaotic and very unpredictable. And just like that, Twilight Council gets thrown down. I don't see a Forge alongside this. More gateways are on the way. This feels like Glaive Adepts.
Interesting. Okay. We'll see. Okay, 2 more Adepts swapping in. So the Void Ray is looking for Overlords, is not going to find any, so Solar is on top of that, and he's got Queens in position. Ooh, Okay, he does notice that Oracle in time. Gonna chase it away, and it is going to be the resonating glaives coming out here from NightMare, well predicted by LightVIP, and again an Evo Chamber first from Solar, so I mean, he's got to be careful. He will need a Roach Warren against this.
He will need a...
Oh, the Void Ray!
Oh, no, we did leave it idle. The Void Ray goes down. Good pick off here from Solar. Good start. And as it goes down, we have gases being taken. A Roach Warren, thankfully for Solar, is on the way.
So the important thing to do here is you really need to see the Adept count as Solar. It's really your only way to kind of identify this build, is to poke at the front and see a lot of Adepts warping in. So... 2 more is not enough to really say anything. Oh, he is going to dive on and grab that last Adept that he was attacking earlier. 3 Adepts on the map, that's not enough to indicate anything.
Yeah, not enough of an indication yet, but more Adepts are being warped in. How many Adepts do we have in total? We have 12 Adepts, soon to be 13 Adepts, and now they've been spotted. The Shades have been scouted, and Solar did drone up a little bit, but he should be making Roaches behind this. He's fully walling off as a natural.
He's going to be ready, he's going to be able to stop the Adepts from getting into his natural base with that wall. A very critical maneuver to defend well against this kind of a push. So he's already got the Evo Chamber down, and you can see NightMare, he's already just working away at this this destructible rocks, trying to jump in, and oh, I thought he was going to take that for a moment, but decides against it. Going to see if he can deny this base. This would be a very nice denial if he can do it, and it does look like he will be able to cancel the base.
I'm getting deja vu. He did the same build and the same outcome here against Raynor, where he denies the 4th base. He keeps his Zerg player contained to 3 bases for as long as possible, and behind this we have a gateway explosion, 4 more gateways on the way, a second river, and a bay as well for disruptors or colossi.
And actually behind the Solar is going for the Spire, so perhaps Creator, not crazy in the last game we saw. And we'll see how that goes. There is going to be ready, and I think he's easily going to force another cancel, pick off the drone, and where do the Adepts go here though? The Roach is going to, I think he's just going to stay. I don't think he's going to take the, oh, he does choose to take it actually, and the Lings are busy counterattacking it. These Adepts are still on the map, still pressuring. Solar is looking for some counter damage.
Yeah, Blink is not done, by the way. No shield battery, no overcharge. Stalkers are going to be going down. Good pickoffs here from Solar. At the same time, the Adepts have not completed, as only 3 Adepts have gone down. These have been some very nice trades here from NightMare, as he wants that 4th base for a 3rd time. Oh. He gets it.
He's canceling this base so much. This is almost game winning for NightMare.
I mean, NightMare with that gateway explosion is on that gateways. He's going for a 3-base all-in. He's going for a follow-up 3-base all-in with Colossus, with reinforcements, and this is gonna hit like a truck. And Solar, it's not just his economy that's been impacted, but his production as well. Like, I don't know if he's gonna have enough to defend it.
It's gonna be tough though, because the mutas are going to hit before NightMare's had a chance to move out. Although, as I say that, he is looking to get on the map a little bit now. And it's going to be an important decision here. Does he just choose to go for it? If he does, okay. Oh, he's not sure. He's not sure. He can't make up his mind. I do think coming home, I do think it is the correct choice. I don't think he could have risked it all to go across the map just yet. So he's going to try and solidify what he's got a little bit more. And Solar's adding on more mutas. It looks like Solar's really setting up just to go for the base trade here. And it's going to be a real worry here for NightMare.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, to go for the base trade, to try to keep the Protoss player back at home. NightMare wanted to hit with his all-in already, by the way, but he's stuck at home because of those mutas. This is best case scenario for Solar. Solar, he's rebuilding, he's replaced that 4th base, and finally, it's getting up and running.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, the game looked like NightMare was just going to push through and kill Solar. Those mutas came in, forced the Protoss player home. NightMare not quite sure whether he should stay or should he go. He decides to stay, and now all of a sudden he's a 3-base Protoss just warping in Blink Stalkers, and there's a really high Mutalisk count, a lot of Zerglings, and now it's like NightMare, he just really has no opportunity to push anymore. He's stuck on 3 bases against a Mutalisk player, no Phoenixes in sight. in the long run, it's really hard to see how he can do anything against this from Solar.
Exactly. I mean, we pick off a couple of mutas. Sure, that's great, but we're keeping the army back at home, and we're containing the Protoss to 3 bases as we pick off the Storm. We just collapse on the army. Solar, he goes to the dive.
He's picking off Stalker after Stalker, and at the same time, those Lings are active on the other side, and NightMare has lost so much here, and okay, he's trying to get something done against this push, but the mutas are just doing so much damage. Finally, enough Stalkers are here, but more and more units, probes, pylons, shield batteries, all getting picked off. The Observer here, oh dear, I don't know how much died on this side. It looks like Solar really fought everything there with his Roach Ling. Only one Colossus left alive, and all of a sudden, I mean, NightMare just looks like he is in deep trouble.
Yeah, the wind has been taken out of his sails, and as you mentioned, there was so much momentum going for NightMare. It felt like everything was going well, everything was going right, and then the mutas arrived. Then the mutas did show up, and we dive on top of the army. We collapse here on the final Colossus. It does go down. Prism's a little bit too late to juggle. Prism gets focused as well, and NightMare is just falling apart here.
My VIP Solar makes me want to play StarCraft. He's so cool. I just can't believe it. He got his 4th base cancelled like 3 or 4 times, and he said, "I'm fine. Just gonna play mutas, no problem. Handled, job done." And he takes the first game.
GG, very well played. Solar in a very difficult position, a brutal position. Things looking dire for him, but Solar, he does not give up. He knows that if he loses here, he's going to be uploaded to YouTube. That's the worst fate you could imagine. So, again, Solar able to bounce back in the end. The stakes are high. And Solar, he is 1 game away from advancing on into the grand finals.
Solar looks so good. Every game I've seen from him so far has been class. That game was really good. I mean, it just seems like Solar's playing at such a high level at the moment. NightMare, it seemed like he was fine. Could he have just committed with the attack there? It would have been, it was just such a hard decision. If he had some Stalkers to deflect the mutas, let's say he had those Stalkers not out on the map. He had the Stalkers there, he could have left 10 Stalkers at home and committed with the rest of his army. With Warpens, he would have been okay to deflect those mutas. And it seemed like he just couldn't quite make up his mind. He wished he had a few more Stalkers so that he could supplement with Warpens at home. And in the end, he did pull back. It looked like Solar just caught him at the worst possible moment with the muta transition or tech switch, and NightMare was just not able to recover.
He wasn't able to recover from there, and now we find ourselves in game number 2. It's brutal here. It's only a best of 3. No more missteps, no more mistakes here available for our Protoss for our Zerg player either. In the top left-hand corner, 1 game away from making it into the grand finals. We have representing Team Vitality leading the series 1-0. It is Solar.
And down here on the bottom right, his opponent in the blue, playing Protoss, of course, it is NightMare. So curious to see if it's going to be another 15 hatch idea. It is actually a block scout timing, and he has chosen to go for the drones this time, and he does have to go towards the 3rd base.
Yeah, is forced to take the unnatural natural instead. NightMare in position, hatchery has been taken, and a nice little start here for NightMare. Solar forced to embrace, this more, I guess, an opener that has become quite standard as of late. It's a rarity here to expand on location, and Solar, he has something to say about it.
I think Solar would be the world champion if he was allowed to type in every tournament. Seems like he's just able to get the mental damage in, and it just makes a big difference to his performance.
Okay, so Solar, he was like, are you playing like mental warfare right now? You're playing mind games? And NightMare was like, maybe. And Solar's like, oh, I learned a lesson. It's like, oh. And then I think he called him like Dr. NightMare. They're laughing about it. Like he's calling him like a psychologist, because of the mental battles. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
One nice little move I want to point out is NightMare. He with the probe scout, he kind of intentionally held it a little bit back, like he patrolled it for a moment and then came in at the last possible second of the natural. And on this map, you can actually hide that probe there just out of vision, and more times than I care to imagine, I've accidentally thought, oh, I'm all good, I can take my natural base, and then, oh, there was a probe hiding, and it gets blocked, and it's just so sad. Now, Solar had already committed to taking the third. Maybe his Overlord saw the probe, and NightMare didn't quite know, but a nice move from NightMare. And this probe, I do think, is going to get away. Zerglings forced back. There will be an Adept on the map.
So once again, we're getting into our standard opener. I mean, I say standard, it's a Stargate, but as NightMare has shown us, he is willing to invest and to indulge in Void Ray based openers as well. I would not be opposed to like a Void Ray based opener here in game 2 and just going for a standard game. Like, you don't have to be crazy, you don't have to take up into Glaives or into Sky Toss. You can still play standard games out of it, but not going to be a Void Ray, going to be the Oracle.
Yeah, exactly right. I guess if you do play Void Ray and then immediately take a third base, it does narrow kind of part of the strength of the Void Ray is that you are hiding what's going on. If you go and take a 4-minute third, Zerg can sort of go, all right, well, I know it's not going to be like fastest possible Adepts. I know it's not going to be some kind of weird Stargates follow-up or anything like that, so it's not going to be like Archon drop, for example. So in this case, obviously it's not going to be the Void Ray, so this is going to allow him to take this really fast third base, and he's not going to have to worry about anything like that. And he's actually going to get some damage as well. 2 drones.
2 drones, gets away, really only taking a shield damage. I spoke too soon, a bit of hull damage there, but it looks like he gets a 3rd drone as well, and he gets the hell out of there. At the same time, Solo being active on the map, moving out with his Lings. NightMare is back at home in position with the 2nd Oracle and Adepts as well.
Solar seems to really like making a round of Lings around this point. I guess partly you can obviously defend against any Adepts on the map, and also partly you just look for any kind of mistakes. Like if the 2 Oracles are being a little bit too greedy getting on the map, if the Stalker's too greedy, he has picked off a Stalker we've seen before, and it looks like he's going to grab the Adepts here by the Oracles over by the Stalker. 1 Adept goes down, Solar does get out. Both players probably satisfied with that trade.
Yeah, a bit of a trade there, back and forth between the players. NightMare transitioning into a Twilight Council and a Forge. Should be +1 and Blink. Again, everything looking a little bit more normal. I do appreciate that NightMare is playing like this as well, showing us he doesn't have to be cheesy, doesn't have to be overly aggressive. He can still play out a standard game and still take it here to a player of the caliber of Solar.
Exactly right, and again, this is very, very normal. Here comes the Adept pressure. At the same time, these Oracles are going to look to pick some things off. He could grab these drones here that are, okay, he's gone to his 3rd base, but I was worried about the drones at the natural that were out of range of the score, but NightMare doesn't go for it. Instead, he's picking off some Zerglings. NightMare looking good so far, and there's been a lot of gateways and no gases taken yet, so I think that we're going to have a very, very heavy Blink Stalker pressure. 4th base, though, maybe is going to go down.
Yeah, it's interesting here. You know, with that gateway explosion, we're not going for any kind of earlier Templar Archives to go into Storm or going to Archons. We do once again rock up at the 4th base. Can we force another cancel? At the same time, we catch some Stalkers across the map. Up.
No battery does go down, and these 2 Stalkers... this is the silliest fight I've seen. I mean... Okay, he gets a probe, neither of these are doing any damage. Like, the Lings are taking almost no damage from the Stalkers, and okay, at the same time a fight in the map. I mean, these players are fighting everywhere all at once. Solar trying to get in with these Zerglings.
And he does manage to get 1 Stalker on the right-hand side, but he's being cleaned up. NightMare, he will defend. Solar does confirm that 4th that is on the way. But as you mentioned, we have the Prism in production. 2 more gateways as well, and really just double checking it, that's going to be 8 gates in total from NightMare. Going to be very aggressive behind this with Blink Stalkers.
The problem is that Solar's gone for the +1 melee, and that's really strong against these kind of Blinkstalker builds. So he's going to have possibly Hydra Ling ready against this, and Hydra Ling is almost exactly what you want against these kind of builds. And so if Soul's going to have Hydra Ling ready and there's not any kind of transition to tech units, it's going to become really difficult for NightMare really quickly. And you can already see how much work these Lings are doing with this kind of counterattack. Getting on these units, these Stalkers do almost nothing to the Lings, and at the same time, oh, NightMare! Okay, I think 2 Stalkers did go down there, and 3 more just left to die.
Yeah, and NightMare bleeding out a little bit too much here. 5 Stalkers in total, 6 Stalkers in total do go down in that trade. Very nicely done by Solar, getting ready for another backstab, another counterattack, and despite the aggression that NightMare trying to put out there, is forced to pull back home, to chill, and to take up into a second rover, into a bay, into Colossus production. Solar has map control.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if he saw some Hydralisks or if he's just intuited based on the link count and the lack of roaches, but clearly he's kind of recognized that the Hydras are going to be coming out. Hydralink Bane is the composition, and if he can get some Colossus out, that's going to do so well against this, but is that going to be possible? Like, does he have, okay, is 2 Colossus in production, extended thermal lens as well?
Yeah, the problem here is that Solar has so much momentum going his way, and he's already pushing. He's running up to 68. That's 3-way saturation, not making any more drones. He's maxing out here, looking to push towards that natural before the Colossi come out.
Oh, this is so scary. I just don't know if NightMare has enough units. He's trying to fight against these Zerglings, but they've got +1. They're so powerful, and now the Hydras are here. The Banelings rolling in, and more Lings from the side. There's nothing here for Protoss.
Yeah,
those Zealots, they don't even have charge yet.
They don't have charge Banelings. They roll into the Zealots as well, chasing down those probes. Good reaction out of NightMare. He does save most of those workers. One Baneling does not get in, but at the same time, NightMare is losing control of his 3rd base, and we're losing control of the entire army as well. Colossus has arrived, but they're on their own. What is there to support?
The base is going to go down. This 4th base, I think, as well, is in trouble. All of these probes will die. GG is called. Solar, 2-0.
GG, well played. Congratulations here on Solar. He is our first finalist of this week's KungFu Cup. He takes down NightMare 2-0. Solar going to be waiting for the winner of our next series.
Solar looked so good. Solar just looks really good. I mean, I'm Max Packs and Classic. Whoever's coming out of this other semi-final, they better be in top form if they're going to be able to take out Solar.
Oh yeah, they need to be in top form, and are they? We're about to find out. Again, we have been neglecting the lower half of the bracket. Like, we've been focusing the entirety of our attention in the upper half, following players like NightMare, following players like Solar, and now we can have a glimpse at what Max Pax is looking like. We've been avoiding him the entire night, but there's only we can only avoid him for so long, as he's now in a PvP versus Classic.